Hello everyone, this video gonna show the step-by-step details of installing MySQL on your own computer for the Windows system. And in next video, we will teach how to install MySQL on the Mac system. So let's start with the Windows system. So first, you need to tap this web page. You need to tap this link, or you just can copy this link if you have the lecture 11, and then you paste this link to your browser. And we'll click on go to download page. And we download the first MSI installer. So no thanks, just start my download. And then you go to the download folders. So click on the MySQL installer. And click yes. So in this course, we'll only use this server service. So we'll choose server only. And next. And so ready to install, we choose execute. And click on next. Okay, for the tap and networking, we will keep the default settings and click on next. And it will ask for a strong password or use the legacy authentication. So we choose the first one, so recommended. So you just give a password for your server. So here I will use my my password. So make sure you memorize this password because we will use this one later on the DBeaver software. So everything, so keep the default settings and click on execute. And click on finish. Okay, so now you have successfully installed the MySQL on your computer. So in order to check the status of your server, you can navigate to the start. So tap here to search. So you will tap service.msc, services.msc, and hit the enter. And you scroll down to MySQL. So you see MySQL 80. That's the name of your server. So it's running now. So you can do the right click. So you can stop, pause, and restart. So we can stop here. And we can start here. Just make sure MySQL server is running when you connect through the DBeaver software. Okay. And okay, so we will also show the details to install DBeaver. So we'll just skip all the thing. Okay, similarly, so still we copy this link and we paste paste into the browser. And you will see a very large download that was download from the top bar. So it's download, Windows. Okay, so we will use the Windows installer. And since DBeaver is larger than MySQL, it takes like about 1 minute to download it. Okay, so once it has been downloaded onto your computer, you go to the download folder and double click on the installer. Choose next. I agree. Keep all the default settings. So choose next, next, install. And click on finish. So now you have installed both MySQL and DBeaver on your computer. So the next step is to connect these two softwares. So you can go back to the start panel and you can click DBeaver. If you don't find DBeaver on the top of your start panel, you can scroll down a little bit. So from the letter D, so DBeaver community version, and you can click on this one if you don't find it on the top of the start panel. Okay. So the access denied is because I have installed MySQL and I reinstalled them. So just to delete all the database. Okay, so we want to start a new connection to our MySQL server. So we can do so by clicking on this plugin icon. We can click on the new database. And so DBeaver will ask you for the version of your server. So we choose MySQL here and click on next. And it will ask you for the password. So remember, we just created this password. So you just tap in. And we also need to make some changes to the driver properties. So we can go to the driver properties. And for the allow public key retrieval, so its default is false. So we want to revise it to the yes. So for the allow public key retrieval. And then we click on finish. Okay. So sometimes DBeaver doesn't automatically update the status of the server. So you need to either refresh or you can double click on this. So when you see this green check mark, so that means DBeaver has established the connection with your server. And from here, so you can click on the database. So click on this. So now, so the local host, our MySQL server, so only has the system database, but usually we won't modify or add any changes to the system database. So that's the some default settings. So we will create a new database. We can do so by go to the Sql Editor. So Sql Editor and create a new Sql script. So here, So we will tap all the code here. So create database. And now give a name for our database. So let's see, MAS 2022. And then we select this statement and click on the execute button. So it returns the statistics. So basically, we have successfully created a database. But we cannot see the MAS 2022 yet. Maybe you can do the refresh. Or if even after refresh, it doesn't show up, you can do so by disconnect. So save the changes and reconnect. And connect. So click on connect. So in most of the time, so the database will show up. And so we have created the database, and now we want to create some tables under our database. So we can do so by right-click on this database, the MS 2022, and we'll go to the Sql Editor. We want to start a new Sql script. Okay, so that's the new Sql script. So the first thing we want to create a table, right? So the same thing, create table, and we want to name as a UBS. So we will add some attributes for this table. So the first one we want to add is the user ID. So that should be an integer. And we put the comma here. So the second one is the item ID. Still, that's the integer. And the third one, so that's the category ID. That's the integer. And the fourth attribute is user behaviors. So the user behaviors. So this one is the varchar. So varchar 4. So don't forget the little comma. And the last one is timestamp. So we use TS here as the integer. Okay. So we select all these lines and click on the execute. So basically, we got this table. Okay, so next step is to import the data site into this table.